Thought Bubble Audio.
Look, up in the sky!
You will never find the more wretched hive of scum and villainy.
Welcome to Beer with Geeks with Tim and Frank.
Who are you?
I'm Batman.
I am Iron Man.
Your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man.
Hi, Christopher. I'm Nero.
My name is Inigo Montoya.
You're a wizard, Harry.
A couple of guys with a couple of beers and a whole lot of pop culture nostalgia.
Make it so, number one.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Beatles.
Name the dog, Indiana.
Life finds a way.
I am serious. And don't call me Shirley.
Now sit back and crack open a cold one, because it's time for Beer with Geeks.
It comes in paints?
Shaken, not stirred.
Great Scott!
I was way off. I knew it started with an S, though.
Hi, and welcome to Beer with Geeks, where two geeks geek out with beer. I'm Tim, and with me, as always, is my star-spangled, maybe not real, coming out of an artwork, Gene Kelly's last movie. Fred, I don't know. I got nothing. I got nothing.
How about you just call me your muse? Can I just be your muse?
No.
Okay, I'm not your muse.
No.
I'm not your podcast muse.
Well, maybe actually.
Right.
When you say it like that.
Yeah.
Maybe. How about just my roller skating friend Frank?
Okay, that sounds good.
How's that?
That is great, and I am doing pretty great. How about you, my friend?
I'm doing well, Frank. I'm doing well. I was doing better before.
Before all this happened.
Before what this episode is going to do happened.
Yeah. Okay, we can get to that. Why don't you first tell me what you're drinking?
I am drinking a Down Road from the Beer Co. I'm drinking specific. That's the name of the company.
I think it's Down the Road, isn't it?
Down the Road Beer Co. Yeah, down. See, I don't like the way the little.
The way it's kind of
Yeah,
down
the road.
I can totally see why you.
I'm drinking a Rassenmeyer Kolsch.
Rassenmeyer Kolsch, yes.
Yeah, it's got a nice big giant on the front.
It does, and there's a little girl running away.
Yeah, I do. It's got. I like that the giant's holding the cat, like the waist holding the cow.
I'm trying to figure out, is this like the giant from Jack and the Beanstalk? Like, is that?
I think it's just a giant. A lot of their beer is based on like myths and fairy tales.
Okay.
So they even have a little thing on the side. So it says, giants don't leave their caves without good reason, but good beer has been known to attract the occasional ogre. For those troglodytic hulks, stray goats are rare delicacies, so a well-made Kolsch is like ambrosia. Drink up, lads, lest ogres catch the scent of your brew and come to share a pint.
Very nice. Very nice. Yeah. Well, all right. Let's crack these open and try them.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so satisfying.
It is a satisfying sound.
All right.
The one, you drink first, and then I'll drink first.
Okay.
Who drinks first? I drink first, you drink first? Yeah. Okay. Mm-hmm. You're drinking that beer. Yeah. Good?
Ooh, that's really good. Actually, that has more. So I like a good Kolsch. The Kolsch is like a very light German beer.
Yep.
They're usually a pretty low ABV. I'm looking for this one, 4.5. Yes, this is lower, but it's actually really flavorful.
Yeah, indeed. I can tell you what's in it. Our Kolsch is a homage to Cologne's world-famous beer, a classic brew featuring Pilsner malts and noble hops. This crisp and refreshing beer starts with a hint of pear that breaks to a clean graininess and a whiff of fresh-cut grass. This quenching ale is a perfect companion to summer days, yard work, and barbecues, but be wary not to attract any ogres.
This is really good.
That's also an apt description because
it
is a hint of pear at the beginning, and I definitely taste the grass.
Yeah, but it doesn't taste like grass. Like some people say, like certain teas taste like grass.
But it's got that but it's got that dry,
like the smell of grass, sort of like. It's really good.
This is really good.
This is like one of my favorite, maybe my favorite Kolsch I've ever had.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. I'm so glad I got
this. Good find. Thank you.
I'll be honest, I got it because there was a giant on it.
Good enough reason for me. I mean, half the time I pick it based on the label, but this is if it's like, have I never heard of it? Is it a cool label? Cool, let's try it.
I wanted to do something besides, like, sometimes we get into a rut of like, I'm
Sam
drinking
Adams
I'm drinking a Sam or whatever.
Yeah.
So I wanted
really cool.
wanted to try. Like there's those sections of the alcohol stores that the beer's not in the case, but it's on the shelf,
right?
And sometimes they're just more interesting,
right?
Yeah.
Agreed. Williamsburg, Massachusetts. Cool.
There you go.
Cool. Well, it's I wonder. Things like this make me wonder what inspired this art. What was the artist's muse that made he or she want to paint this particular painting, but then that makes me think of a very specific movie that I'd like to talk about today. Because today on Beer with Geeks, we are trying out a new, we hope will be a recurring series. You know, we already have the Hit Me With Your Best Shot, right? Where one of us will tell the other, you know, I know you don't like this series or this book or this genre. Here's why you should try it.
Yep.
Well,
we have Star Wars trivia.
We have our Star Wars trivia. Yeah, we have our commentaries that we do. We have a few different tracks of content, but this is a new one we want to try out. An idea we had.
The new Would You Rather section.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. That's right.
We have a lot of.
We have a few recurring bits.
Yeah.
But you know, the put them in a soccer field and let them duke it out.
Yep.
You know, like we have that. But we haven't done one of those in a while.
No, we haven't.
But this one is called
Let Me Tell You Why It's Wonderful.
And you have to say it with that affectation. Basically, we had the idea that we both like things that are
no good,
critically panned, right? Movies that have a terrible Rotten Tomatoes score, or comics that everyone says is terrible, or whatever. And so we thought, why not one of us try to convince the other one why that certain thing is wonderful.
Yep.
Why we love it. Like a guilty pleasure, if you will.
It's definitely guilty pleasure, and it's definitely not always necessarily geek oriented. As I think this
first one is not.
This first one is not. It's not.
We had much more vulgar names for this series, but we decided against them.
Yeah.
Yes. One that's not vulgar that I can say is I thought about how about polishing a turd?
Yeah, that's probably the nicest. Besides, let me tell you why it's wonderful.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. Let me tell you why it's wonderful.
Thank you. Yeah.
You're welcome.
So the first one was my pick. And at the end of this episode, you're going to tell me what your pick is for the next one that I'm going to have to.
That's
my assignment
correct.
is, what my homework is.
Which, to be honest, I revisited mine.
Okay.
After I just about decided, but I had to double check.
Sure.
And I'm super glad.
Okay, cool. I'm a little scared.
Okay.
I'm a little scared.
Okay.
Because I put you through watching the 1980 cult classic Xanadu.
And I watched it.
You watched it.
All stupid 90 minutes of this stupid movie.
I love it. All right. So let's. All right. So I grew up watching this movie as a kid.
Okay, that explains why you.
And
like
I have
it.
watched it many, many times in my life.
Okay.
I can pretty much recite the whole movie, but more importantly, I can recite I know all the songs by heart. Like I freaking love this movie. It is a musical starring Olivia Newton-John. Fresh off her success in Grease. And my understanding is, and this may or may not be true, I wasn't able to verify this online, that John Travolta was offered the male lead and turned it down.
Oh, I had read that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So, but it also stars Gene Kelly in his final role on the big screen.
What a way to go out on.
Oh, man. Okay.
Actually, he was
great.
He was enjoyable.
He was great
in this film. He was probably the only
Sang,
watchable
he
part.
danced,
He was the only watchable part of this movie.
Okay. So let's start with your overall impression. First of all, what do you think the story was about?
Our famous segment within a segment.
What was the story?
The plot was.
What happened?
What
happened in this movie?
There's this guy with hair, and he
Sonny Malone
fancies Sonny Malone, and he fancies a stupid name.
It's just like a 40s gangster name.
Yeah,
Hey there, kid.
Yeah, Sonny Malone.
Name Sonny Malone.
Yeah, I just want to be a painter, pa. Who drives a car from the 40s for some reason.
For some unknown reason.
Even though he's a barely working artist, he's driving this very nice, expensive car.
Well, but in 1980, that was probably like a beater. It was like, oh my God, he's driving this ancient car that's falling apart.
He's driving a 40-year-old car, but it was a beautiful car. It was not like rusty or
right.
it was a nice looking car.
Yeah.
So he before the film starts works for this company that paints posters of record labels, record
Cover
covers,
art.
cover
Yeah.
art. Yeah. So he just enlarges them to make them look like bigger posters. And he's like, I'm working for the man, and this is awful. So I'm going to go and be a real artist, and gets out there and be like, this is hard. I can't do this. So he goes back to his job.
Yes.
And then
He couldn't make it.
then the whole time he's like, I wish I was just a real artist. and I'm like, what are you doing? You just left, and now you're complaining about being back, even though you realize that you have to be back because you need to eat to survive. And he's just the worst employee in the entire world.
He complains to his boss, who's like he's like the Medici. He's like I'm sponsoring all of you collective of painters to like live in this crappy home
that you're actually not allowed to live in. This is just a workspace. But meanwhile, while all this is happening, some graffiti comes alive.
And they sing about it.
I'm alive, and the world shines for me today. I'm alive, suddenly I am here today.
And they sing about it. It did kind of remind me that when they came alive, and there was there was a narrator right at the beginning.
I don't think there's a narrator.
Oh, maybe I imagined it, but they all came alive, and I was like, "Oh, it's like the beginning of Hercules." Okay, yeah, you tell them, girls. Yeah, like that's basically what was happening, and so they all go off. All these fluorescent women go off to
different corners of the earth.
Men and women, I should say, go off to.
No, I think they're just women.
Is it just women?
Yeah, it's just sisters.
Okay, they go off to do musy things, and Olivia Newton-John sticks around, and she just walks through walls and does weird nothingness until Sonny Malone is like, hey, a girl, I should go follow her on my roller skates.
All right, well, hold on. In his defense, if gorgeous 1979 Olivia Newton-John came up to you and kissed you on a boardwalk and ran away, would you not chase after her?
I don't think so.
Are you kidding me?
Nothing against Olivia Newton-John. I think I would be like...
If that beautiful woman kissed you and then ran away, you wouldn't be like, what? This is my luckiest day ever. I need to go talk to her.
I don't think you know how much I hate running.
Fair.
Beautiful girl. I'll find you again one day.
Anyway, okay. So go ahead.
So he tries to find this girl who he doesn't know is a fluorescent painting. And he comes across a man on a rock at the beach playing clarinet. And he's like, hey, old man, could you turn that music down that you're playing in real life? I'm trying to find a girl. And that man is Gene Kelly. And he's like, oh, I'll play something different instead, more to your liking. And he's like, that's better. Mm-hmm. Let's be best friends.
Yes, basically that's what happens.
Man who's 50 years older, like 50 years older than I am.
Yeah.
Let's be best friends. And this guy, Gene Kelly, is like the nicest man in the world. Where this like guy like, oh no, sorry man, I said I'd just get lunch with you, this stranger who's playing his clarinet on the beach, but I think I see a girl, so I gotta go get the girl. Mm-hmm. And Gene Kelly's like, okay, son, I'll catch up with you later. For reasons. Why? Why do they have to meet up together again? So then they do end up getting lunch, and Gene Kelly's like, I used to be a musician, as you could tell, because I played the clarinet on the beach really well. Maybe it wasn't me. Maybe it was audio dubbed. I'm not
Who
sure.
knows?
I'm really not sure if Gene Kelly played the clarinet.
I don't
or
know.
not.
Doesn't really matter.
So he's like, come back to my house. And it's this sprawling mansion that he definitely would never be able to live in based on what he did for a living, unless he was the most popular clarinetist in the entire world.
I think the idea is that he left music at some point and went into some other line of business, and that's how he made his money. Because he talks about, like, I gave up art, I quit on art. That's actually, if there can be themes in this movie, that's a theme of, like, art won't make you money, like, or like people who abandoned their art because they weren't inspired enough and whatever else. So that's kind of why Kira's being Olivia Newton-John, the muse is so important. But
okay. So he talks about like playing with Frank Sinatra, right? I think is that what he said?
Glenn Miller Band. Play
with the Glenn Miller Band. I was like, hey, Sonny's like, hey, this is pretty good, and guy's like, yeah, screw you. No, and so Sonny's like, well, you should like do it again, man. I gotta go paint records. I'll see you later. And then he has this. Gene Kelly has this song and dance sequence with the ghost of the Muse, who then they both become ghosts. For reasons.
Yes, sort
so,
of.
like, she doesn't solidify. Like, he becomes like astral form.
Yeah.
And he's like, I learned this from the Ancient One in Doctor Strange. like
Benedict Wong taught me this one.
Right.
Whenever you're away from me, wherever you go, you're never far away from me. I want you to know I only have to close my eyes, dear, and suddenly I'm where you are. You better never stray, 'cause I'll never be far away.
And then they have the song and dance that was, pretty. I mean, it was fine. It was Gene Kelly, so it was great.
So it was great.
Yeah.
He danced better than she did.
Right. Yeah.
Considerably.
Yeah.
And he was like 80.
Right. Well, it definitely wasn't. If he was 80, he looked great.
No, he was probably in his 70s.
Yeah. Even then, he looked great for 70.
No, he did.
Yeah. And so then something else happened with the record and the girl. Oh, and then the guy, Gene Kelly's like, Sonny, we should go into business together because I've decided to get back into music because the astral form of Olivia Newton-John came to me and we danced together and I was like, you know what? I should get back into music.
Seemed like a great idea.
Yep. So then he's like, Sonny, you help me find a place, because you're an artist, so you've got an eye for buildings.
Right.
So why don't you help me find a
architect,
place?
Same thing.
Yeah. So you help me find something. And so he goes to. So did he go to that abandoned building before or after that? I can't remember.
He got the album cover that Kira was on. He went and found the photographer and asked him, like, what?
That's right.
Who's this girl? Like, I saw her, and the photographer was like, you know what, man? Craziest thing happened. I was just taking pictures of the building, and then one of them, this girl just happened to be there. And I was like, looks good. I'm going to use this picture of this woman who has not given her permission to be photographed and put it on an album cover and sell millions of copies of it.
Don't give away my secret, man.
Yeah.
That's why I'm famous.
So Sonny goes to that building because he's like, I don't know. I guess she must live there. Because, like, that's a logical leap you could take. And then guess what? Yeah. Turns out she does. No, does she live there? She's there and she's singing and she's roller skating.
Why is she roller skating?
It was 1980. Roller skates were a thing. I don't know.
But she was just on them for no reason.
Well, she was roller skating around the boardwalk too. She just likes to skate.
So then he kind of watches her from afar, not being weird, and then they talk to one another.
Yep.
Like, because now she can interact in a not astral form, apparently.
Yep.
And and then they talk like they've known each other for years, even though she just kissed him and that was it.
Yep.
For no reason that she the kiss is never really even explored
not really explained.
or explained.
No.
It's just like, whatever. I've been a painting for a long time, And he's like, I gotta find this building for this guy. He used to play clarinet. He wants to play clarinet again and open a club. But I've really got to go to work. But I hate working there because I want to be an artist. Even though I'm being an artist at this thing, but I'm not being a real artist. But I tried being a real artist, but I can't be a real artist.
All right.
So she's like, why don't you use this building? He's like, nah, this place sucks. And I'm like, that place is definitely what you need.
Yes.
And she's like, this place is definitely what you need. And then and now I need help filling in the gaps because I can only remember the end.
Okay. So from there, they sort of start dating, the two of them, and he he and
meanwhile, her not mentioning that she's not a real person
nope,
at all.
not at all. And she eventually meets Danny, who's Gene Kelly.
That's okay.
He never mentions like, hey, you look a lot like the girl that I used to be in love with. Like that never comes up.
Right.
Sonny at one point is flipping through like Danny's old albums and sees her picture on the back of one of the records. Never says, hey, that's the girl I've been looking for.
Song with her in her like USO gear.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Never. No. Neither of them ever mentioned like we're dating the same girl 30 years apart. Isn't that weird? She hasn't aged. Never comes up. And they basically decide, all right, this place that she was roller skating, this is going to be, we're going to start a club because Danny used to, work in these clubs and used to own a club and all that kind of stuff. And so like, we're going to open a new club and it's going to be Sonny loves roller skating and rock and roll, and Danny loves big band music. And they say, hey, you know what works really well together? Roller skating and rock and roll and big band music all at the same time. We're going to prove it by having a musical montage where Danny is hearing big band music in this corner.
Forget about the rules tonight, sweet thing. I want to dance with you until the sun comes creeping through.
Sonny is hearing rock and roll music in this corner.
Lover, getting on my 2 feet tonight. Ooh, got some dancing to do. Got some dancing to do.
And at the end, the two songs come together and they mesh perfectly.
Forget about the blues tonight. Sweet thing. Forget about the rules tonight. Sweet thing. I wanna dance with you until the sun comes creeping through. I wanna dance with you. I won't stop pleasing you.
Oh,
that was pretty cool.
That was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Great. Okay. So we know it's gonna be these two kind of music. Great. What kind of club is it gonna be? How about a roller disco? Sold. All right. Let's do it. And then they basically go and they decide they're gonna, Danny's gonna put up the money and Sonny's gonna like decorate, and
boy did he,
oh yeah, and they go like buy clothes and stuff, and Danny's trying on like pimp suits and zoot suits and everything.
That was also pretty.
That's
funny.
one of the best numbers in the movie.
I got a message on the radio, but where it came from I don't really know. And I heard these voices calling all over the
Then Sonny finds out that Kira is one of Zeus's daughters.
Yep,
she's one of the 9 muses. She's actually I'm not sure how to pronounce her actual muse. Terpsichore. I feel like
that sounds right.
Yeah, sure. And she is the muse of dance, which is why the roller skates, not blades, skates. Also, because it was 1980 and it was the death throes of like roller disco. So before opening night, she's like, well, I have to leave now because my only reason for coming was to make this club happen. And they decided to name the club Xanadu, after the Samuel Taylor Coleridge poem. In Xanadu did Kubla Khan a stately pleasure dome decree.
Look upon my works and that one.
That one. Yep, that's the one.
It's Ozymandias.
Yeah, thanks.
People who want to write it and be like, that's not the right poem.
Watchmen.
I know. Yeah.
Watchmen. That's what they sound like. So they decided to name the club Xanadu. It's gonna be roller disco, plays all kinds of music. And she's like, well, my reason for being here is gone now. Like I have to go, but Sonny, I'm in love with you, and this wasn't supposed to happen. It's gotten all so complicated, but I need to leave. I love you forever. Bye. And she disappears, and he gets all depressed. And Danny's trying to cheer him up, and he's like, "Oh,
it's all right,
tough
kid.
break. Sometimes broads go away, buddy." Like that's basically what it is.
Like that one I dated that looked exactly like yours.
But let's not talk about that.
Yeah.
And so Sonny, in a fit of depression, goes out for a skate on the streets.
Yeah, he does.
30-year-old men should not just be like roller skating around the streets, like down the boardwalk.
I don't care what decade.
I don't care what decade it is. But he does. So he comes to the mural that she originally had come out of and sees her, painted on the wall, and I guess decides he's going to commit suicide, and so he decides to skate head first into the wall. turns out when you skate headfirst into that wall,
you end up on platform 9 3/4.
You go through it, exactly.
Yeah.
And you end up in what I guess is supposed to be Mount Olympus, but looks like Tron.
It did kind of look like Tron.
And he meets Zeus and I guess Hera.
Yep.
And Zeus, by the way, is voiced by the guy who plays Colonel Pickering in My Fair Lady.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Really?
Voiced by the same guy. By George, I think she's got it. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, I thought it was weird that he said that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, he Zeus is all like, "Oh no, you can't come to Kira. She must live here with us forever. This is how it's always been. Blah blah blah. These are the rules. She can't fall in love. Blah blah." And he's all like, "Please, I love her. No, you can't." Blah, blah. So then Kira just sings a song. He's like, "All right, you can go. Just this
you
once.
can love her.
Just this once. We'll allow it."
To keep me suspended in time with you. Don't let this moment die. I get a feeling when I'm with you. None of the rules apply. But I know for certain goodbye is a crime. So love if you leave me, suspend me in time.
But this is after Sonny's already gone, so Sonny leaves thinking that he's lost. They have opening night of the club. He's all depressed still. And then she just shows up at opening night of the club and sings the title song and sings all these other songs, and there's all these dance numbers. And this is probably like one of the best. It's almost like they made the whole movie for this last 15 minutes of like music and dancing and everything. And that's the club. That's it. It's
and
over. And she disappears.
Happy.
All her sisters do a number, and she disappears.
So that whole number with Zeus, he's like, "Oh, it's all right." Like, doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. But Danny, Sonny's like, "Well, I guess that's that," and turns around, and then the waitress, the cocktail waitress who comes to wait on him, is her.
Except that it's
the
not.
End. It is or it isn't. It's kind of.
It just looks like her. It's not her.
Or she became human and she gets to live there now.
I don't know. This movie doesn't explain things, so it doesn't matter.
So let me tell you why it's wonderful.
Oh, my God.
It is. I mean, it's terrible.
Can't believe I just had to relive it again.
It's so delightful, though. It's so funny. It's fun.
It was kind of fun. Like I recognize
cheesy and campy, and it's fun.
Like I'll give you. Like, I know why people hate it. I know why I definitely will never watch it again. Yeah, but there was kind of this weird charm to it that it's like it's even consistent in its dumbness.
Yes, that's right.
Which is fine. I don't mind that. I mean, I'll never watch it again.
I wouldn't expect you
to.
But I will.
But I am glad that I saw it.
Yeah.
Because, well, one, I've actually known about Xanadu since I was a kid.
Okay. It's famous for being bad.
It's not because of that. It's because it appears very briefly in an episode of Friends.
Oh, really?
Yeah, in one of the very first seasons. I think it was might be the first season. Pretty sure it's the first season.
I'm sure I've seen that. I just don't remember it.
Or the second season. And Joey and Chandler get the comfy chairs.
Oh, yeah.
And they watch TV all day.
Yeah. Oh,
and Phoebe is like, "We've got to get you lazy boys out of these chairs." Cue laughter. And they're flipping through the channel, and it lands on Xanadu. It lands on the opening, and she goes, "Oh, Xanadu!" And she sits down, and Chandler's like,
Phoebe would love it.
She's one of us now." And I've never known what Xanadu was.
Oh, got it.
And I think, I don't know where I learned what what it actually was, but I had no idea, like the Muse thing or Gene Kelly. I didn't know any of that.
Sure.
So why is it wonderful?
I think the main the movie itself is pretty bad, but it's fun. It's fun enough
Yep.
watch, especially when you're a kid and nothing makes sense anyway. You're just like, okay, this is fine, whatever. But the main thing, the driver of why this is so wonderful is the music by ELO. Are you familiar with ELO, Electric Light Orchestra?
I've heard of them.
Do you know the song "Evil Woman"? Doom, like all classic rock radio, or like
maybe.
"Don't Let Me Down."
Oh, that song I know. Yeah.
Those are their songs. They had a lot of
okay.
hits in mainly in the 70s, maybe a little bit in the 80s. And the main guy, his name is Jeff Lynne. He worked with George Harrison, like with the Beatles, and with Tom Petty, Bob Dylan, like all these guys. Collaborated with them a lot, even produced records for them a lot and everything. So he was a big it was a rock star in the 70s. And the band was called ELO, Electric Light Orchestra. They did all the music for this movie. So all the songs basically any song that Olivia Newton-John is not singing is ELO.
Oh, that's cool.
So the soundtrack.
Wait, so Sonny doesn't sing his own part?
He doesn't sing at all. He doesn't sing at all.
Yeah, you're right. That was weird.
So like there's the one scene I think you're thinking of, like when they go roller skating in that like place with all the different props keep popping up like that's they're not actually, they're just like, that's Olivia singing, but it's not Kira singing, if that makes sense. Like her character isn't singing, but the music is just it's background music.
That's why I got confused. Okay.
Suddenly, I don't need the answers, 'cause I'm ready to take all my chances with you.
And it's somebody else singing there, Cliff Richard. He was a big English pop star that actually Olivia got her start being his backup singer. So that was kind of like a thing of like,
come and do the sing.
Yeah,
It'll be fun.
exactly.
Yeah.
Before she hit it big. So that was cool. So yeah, all the other songs are ELO. And I absolutely like this movie. This movie was the movie that inspired the Razzie Awards.
Really?
Like the awards that are famously like, oh, let's give awards to things for being terrible.
Yeah. So this is the first movie to get a Razzie?
It got 6 Razzie nominations. It won for Worst Director.
All right.
It was the first.
See, the movie's consistent, so it probably shouldn't have won for Worst Director.
I don't know. There were some pretty. The main thing I think that's one of the main things I think is pretty terrible about this movie is how the cinematography is. It is not shot like a movie. It is shot like a stage play a lot of the time, and you just see like off in the distance, here's this entire stage full of people dancing, but the camera doesn't move. Things happen in long, 5-minute long takes.
Yep.
One take, one shot. Terrible. And I guess that comes down to the director and the editor and the cinematographer.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Anyway, it won the first Razzies. It was the movie that inspired. I mean, other movies obviously won other categories that year, but it inspired the Razzies. But it also had the soundtrack album went to like number 4 in the U.S. and like number 2 in the U.K. and 5 top 20 hits came off that album.
Whoa!
It was a massive smash hit, that album.
Whoa! But the movie wasn't.
The movie just broke even.
Wow.
Like I think they had a $20 million budget and they made like $22 million.
Whoa,
so
geez.
like it didn't fail, but it was by no means a success. And it's become a cult hit on home video. And it's, I mean, you can tell if a movie is a real failure. You know, the most you'll be able to like maybe find a DVD copy of it from like 2007.
Yep.
But nothing more recent. It came out in Blu-ray in 2016. Like it's they keep putting it out and it's on digital. You can rent it on iTunes. It's readily available.
That's how I watched it.
You rent it on iTunes.
Yeah.
It's readily available. You can buy a Blu-ray of it. Like they keep releasing it on every new medium because people keep buying it. But the album, it was a major success. Side one, I don't remember which side is which, but one side is all Olivia Newton-John songs, and the other side is all the ELO songs. And a bunch of hits, a lot of her hits, like that she still does in concert. I saw her, like my dad was always a big fan of hers, of her music, and I took him to see her for his birthday.
Oh, that's cool.
A few years, maybe 10 years ago, and she still does a couple songs from that album. ELO still does the title song from that album. That entire album, just like the ELO stuff especially, is just some of my favorite stuff. I can listen to it. Like it's one of those things that if I'm in a bad mood, I'll listen to it and it makes me feel better.
That's good. That's good. You need one of those.
It's so good.
I'm looking. I was interested about the Rotten because you say cult. Sometimes cult classics or favorites tend to have high Rotten Tomatoes.
I'm
scores.
sure this doesn't.
It has a critic score of 38% and a user
better than I thought.
and a user score of 58.
Wow. The 38 is better than I thought for critics. I honestly thought it'd be less. I know Roger Ebert's always one of my favorite film critics. I think he gave it like 1 or 2 stars.
Hey, Roger Ebert gave Revenge of Jafar 2 thumbs up. So anything is possible.
He also didn't really like Empire Strikes Back, which like blows my mind.
I know.
But yeah, so it's not objectively a good movie, but it's a fun movie. It's got there's a bizarre in the middle of the movie. There's a bizarre animated sequence where Sonny and Kira turn into animated animals, kind of like Madame Mim and Merlin.
Except that the whole movie's animated.
Yes, but they turn into animals.
It kind of reminded me of the squirrel sequence, actually, specifically.
Sure.
And it was fun. It was cute, but I was like, what? But it was like one of those like, I didn't take drugs.
I know, but you feel like you did. You feel like you did.
And I don't know what it's like to take LSD, but I imagine it's very similar to watching to this movie.
Don't walk away. Don't say goodbye. Don't say goodbye. Don't turn around. Don't let it die. When shadows fall. When day is dawn. All through the night. All of my life.
Well, so fun fact, that sequence was animated by Don Bluth, who is this guy who did Anastasia and Thumbelina and all these, former Disney animator who broke off on his own and started.
Thumbelina and Anastasia are not Disney movies.
They're not.
Yeah.
As much as people think they are. But he used to be a Disney animator and then went on to do those other movies when he made his own company.
Oh, okay, I understand. Because I understand now. Because you said those 2 movies and then you said Disney animator.
Sorry.
And
well, yeah. So he used to be a Disney animator.
I would write an angry letter to you.
He comes from the Disney animation school of everything.
Rock.
He was there for many years, School of Rock, and then went on to start his own company. And those are some of the movies that he did. So, but Xanadu was the animated sequence there was done by him. It was Gene Kelly's last film. I discovered this today. I was looking at the Wikipedia article for this movie today in preparation for this conversation, and I found out a new tidbit that I had never realized before, and that is that his character's name is Danny McGuire. That I knew. But what I didn't realize is that he also played a character named Danny McGuire in the 1944 movie CoverGirl. Okay. He plays a guy who runs a nightclub named Danny McGuire. In the 40s.
Is he supposed to be the same?
I'm like,
character?
Oh my god, is Xanadu like a sequel to like a low-key sequel to CoverGirl and no one knows it?
I think you have to
I've
watch
never seen it. It's a Rita Hayworth and plays a chorus girl who's his girlfriend. I'm like, I've never seen this, but I need to do this now.
I think you have to watch the movie.
This is like my new follow-up now, right?
Yep.
So yeah, like that just sounds like he. I mean, the only connection I can really find is that he owned a nightclub, and I think in Xanadu there is some mention of he ran nightclubs. Because he says like I haven't had an opening night since 1945, and I feel like that means like he owned the club that was opening. So, yeah, I kind of feel like it's at least a wink and a nod. They definitely picked that name on purpose.
Definitely,
but I can't tell if it's supposed to be the same guy or if it's just like, well, we're just gonna pick a name like that's the same as a wink and a nod for his fans. But anyway, it's I in my headcanon, Xanadu is a sequel to CoverGirl.
Unbelievable.
Also, I'd like to point out that we are as far away now from this movie, 1980, as that movie was from the 40s.
Whoa.
So we are at the equidistant point of like looking back.
Whoa.
Yeah. So I love it. I think it's fun, bad, but fun. If you go into it knowing it's terrible, you'll have a good time. Come for Olivia Newton-John's charm, stay for the ELO soundtrack.
Or Gene Kelly.
Yeah.
Well, this was it's terrible, but I kind of sadly enjoyed myself.
Yeah.
Even though it was definitely
it's terrible.
Bad. It's definitely bad, but I kind of enjoyed myself.
So I put you through this.
Yes.
I can't help but wonder, and I don't really want to know the answer to this, but what's my homework? What do I have to watch?
Your homework is the hold on, I gotta figure out what year it came out so I can.
Now, is this something while you're looking it up? Is this something that like you also have a personal attachment to that, like
super personal attachment.
Okay, and you're going to tell me why it's wonderful. All right.
Yep, I'm definitely going to tell you why it's wonderful.
Okay.
I used to watch this all the time when I was a kid.
Okay.
And I just rewatched it, and I know it's bad.
Okay.
So you're going to watch the 1995 seminal classic, Judge Dredd.
Wait, is this the Stallone?
This is the Sly Stallone.
Yes.
Starring,
I am the law.
Starring Sylvester Stallone,
Yes.
Armand Assante, Diane Lane, Rob Schneider.
Oh, I hate Rob Schneider. Oh,
And-
that's a hate. That's the hate watch part
and
right
Max von Sydow.
Oh, wow. This is such a weird cast. Rob Schneider. Okay.
Yeah, I
Well,
have a lot to say about this movie.
Okay.
It has an 18% on Rotten Tomatoes
Is
from
it
critics.
that low? I didn't realize it was that hated.
And a 30% from
fans.
users.
Oh my god.
This movie has a clean 90% for me as a kid.
You put a 90, really?
It's no good.
Oh
This
my
movie,
God.
It's no good. I just
my
rewatched it. I recognize, like when you love something and you can see all the flaws, but then you immediately, you're writing the flaws in chalk and immediately, in your right hand and in your left hand, you're immediately erasing them as you go along. Doesn't matter. This movie's great.
Okay, this is great. 'Cause that's how I feel about Xanadu. So
Yeah.
this is great. This is gonna be so good.
Stallone has not one, but 2 catchphrases in this movie.
Oh, I only know the one. All right.
Yeah, and you'll figure out what the other one is real
I
fast.
will. I'm sure I
The
will.
tone is wildly inconsistent.
Okay, awesome.
And yeah, I just can't wait for you to watch it.
Okay.
Yeah. Part of the reason it's hated is because it's not a good representation of Judge Dredd itself. It is and it isn't.
It's a comic book property, right?
Judge Dredd is a 2000 AD comic book property.
Yeah.
It's a British
Yeah,
British
yeah.
comic. I'll get into all this when you watch it.
I know we talked about it at some point.
I think they were we talked about maybe lesser known comic book movies
Maybe
or
that's what it
something
was.
like
We
that.
didn't do a best shot on this, did we?
No.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
No, I wouldn't. I know it's bad, but I wouldn't make somebody sit down
Okay.
and watch this to be watch this great movie.
Yeah.
Because there are movies that you that you want people to see.
Yes.
Because they're good movies.
Yes, exactly.
This is a bad movie.
Right.
It's no good.
Okay.
Yeah. So, it's on Netflix.
Oh, easy. Great.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So it's an easy way to. I did that specifically so you could get to it.
Thank you.
And I tried to pick something that I thought that you might like a little bit anyway, because I knew you picked Xanadu because you knew I would like a little bit
The
of
musical
it anyway.
aspects of
Yeah.
it, the Gene Kelly, I thought some things about it would be interesting
Yeah,
to you.
and Judge Dredd is hard sci-fi.
Okay, yeah. So you know that's...
Yeah, so it's right up your alley. So, yeah, so that's that.
Oh, man. All right,
And
let's do this.
We'll come back to this soon because I'm very excited.
This
to
was
talk to
really
you about
fun.
it.
Was this fun for you? I had a lot
blast.
Of fun. Okay,
yeah,
good.
I had a blast.
I
Yeah.
had a lot of fun doing this, and I hope that it was worth sitting through 90 minutes of roller skating.
Oh my god, it was kind of fun. It was so dumb. I 2 minutes into the movie, I was like, oh my god, this. I'm gonna have to watch this for another 88 minutes. It's one of those things where you're like, am I still watching it if I get up and go to the bathroom and leave it on?
Leave it playing.
Yeah. Is that still watching
cheating?
it? Yeah. Oh man, what a movie.
Oh, man.
So anyway, and Judge Dredd's only 90 minutes, so it's
Okay.
an equal spill for you.
Great.
So
Great.
okay. Well then, so you can find us in all the usual places, beerwithgeeks.com and Facebook and Twitter and Gmail. You can find us at thoughtbubbleaudio.com, where you can find all of our other shows, Academy Rewind, Starkville House of El Krypton, Supergirl TV Talk. We have some more shows coming down the pipeline, to which you can all find at thoughtbubbleaudio.com. You can also rate and review us on Apple Podcasts and Stitcher and all other places that podcasts can be found.
That is correct.
Indeed. So I say then until next time, cheers.